Hey guys, this is Ash here from the Network Studios. Welcome back to another stream inside of Grovewood. Today we are going to carry on with this airport thing. I will note that I've changed the building again. Me and Ant, well, mainly Ant came up with an idea to have this diagonal bit, and then I kind of went along with it. And then I kind of added to it, so we both worked on it really, but the actual original idea of having these windows going up diagonal like that was Ant, and then things like this pillar coming down and the saying airport there and having this was like my idea, and putting the glass here and having these stair bits and things, but he came up with the basic first design of it, and then we both just sort of added to it, and I must say I think it definitely looks weird, modern, but the more I look at it, I do kind of actually like it. It's like one of them modern looking airports. It's kind of like, I guess in a way, like a newer airport, if that makes sense. So not one what's necessarily been here years, or it's maybe been here for a long time, but they've maybe just knocked the terminal down and maybe rebuilt it at some point. Now, I do realise one issue, but something I have not yet done yet, and I haven't done a place for taxis to drop people off at the airport. So that is why I have come up with a form of idea. So at this side of the path, we're going to have all the stuff which kind of doesn't relate to the airport as such, but does in a way. So what I'm saying is all the stuff at this side is going to have nothing to do with the planes, but it's going to have all the sort of other ways to get to the airport. So there'll be so what I'm going to do is the taxi rank. Then next to the taxi rank, I'm going to do the bus station. Then next to the bus station, I'm going to do a train station for the airport. And then next to the train station, which will probably be somewhere about here, I'm then going to go ahead and do the hotel. So the little travel lodge, Premier Inn, whatever you want to call it, and then this will be the main terminal, and then all other roads behind it there'll be runways, and then there'll be sort of a fire station on the runways. So this is going to go pretty far back itself, and then we're just going to have this big space for runways. There's going to be the watchtower, and it's going to hopefully really come together, which is going to hopefully look alright. I'm finally pleased that I found a little something we can do with the building. I like it because it's modern, but I wanna the only thing I'm kind of worried about is keeping the detail up at the sides, because I don't just want to do one big white square now behind it and do nothing else. I still want to do some little form of details. I might even do a little side entrance. There's still things that I do want to do with this building. I don't just necessarily want to go ahead and just call it that, leave it at that, call it that, do a white square. I want to keep the detail up. I do want to put some bins down here eventually. Like I say, in Grovewood, we're actually going for detail. We're trying to do everything from litter bins outside of buildings to trees. For example, like here at the Enterprise Rent-A-Car, we've actually gone ahead and made ourselves some little bin areas, little back entrances and stuff like that, rather than just building the front and doing the rest plain. Now, I know technically this is just plain at the back, but I am going to do some more to this. I am going to do a little back entrance here, or a little side entrance. There's no need for any cars or anything to go back there. But what I'll just go ahead and do is maybe do a little back grass area for the people to sit outside in summer and have a lunch break. Maybe a little smoking area for the taxi people to go, you know, actually, you know, for people who work in the office and people who work on repairing the taxis, because you got to think like this is not just a little town. This is going to get quite big when there's all the seafront and stuff, so they're going to need people attending to broken taxis, people from the taxi depot taking in calls so they can then locate to drivers. So a smoking shelter will definitely be something that's on the list. I mean, there's airport coming here, so there's going to be a lot of needs for a lot of taxis, let's say that. I'm not too sure about this yet. This is an RKF, or it's going to be, which is like it's kind of like SBSC, but it's just like another version of SBSC, if you like. It's kind of like, say you have a Ford dealership and then you have a Citroen dealership. It's kind of like that, but they've kind of joined in partnership of the two companies. So like sometimes you might see an RKF and an SBSC, which means it's one big dealership, but they sell both vehicles, and then sometimes you will just get the separate ones as well. But they have gone in partnership to make like just one big dealership in some places. Like there's no RKF here. Well, actually, there is an RKF here. RKF here. I actually forgot about that. I might have to speak to Ryan about that, because it might be too soon to have another one. Just here, like I do want to do more than just dealerships in this world. The last world was good, but it did get filled with a lot of dealerships. Like every time I didn't like a building, I just like said to Jamie, put an SBSC there, put an SBSC there, and we did have a lot of SBSCs in the end. Which didn't necessarily always work out, but not that I don't want them in the world, I just don't think I don't want them as regular as one down there and then one just here and then another one further up the road. I kind of want them spread out evenly around the map, so you don't get them all, so you don't get them too regular, in other words. So I'm going to take this road down and this footpath, and then behind the enterprise wall just here is where we're going to have a little place, just almost like a car park, but it's going to be for taxis instead. So I'm probably going to more than likely do it, you know, oh yo, how is your airport? Steve, it's what do you think of this building, like personally? Because I've had a lot of issue with this airport. Like I've not really known what to do for the terminal design, and we've built a couple of things and knocked them back down and built something else, and it's just like we've got this at the moment, which I think looks nice and modern, but I like it, but I'm not 100% certain whether it looks to its best or not. I like it, but I'm not 100% certain, meaning I still might change it, but I'm leaving it as it is at the moment because I'm really not sure. Really not sure. But I do like it. I'm just in that like debate of like not knowing, because I've never really built an airport before, and like because of the type of airport I'm doing, like I'm not doing a huge international airport. I'm just doing like a little miniature well, it's big, but it's not as big as an international. It's kind of like a Blackpool airport size. So you know what I mean. So like it kind of doesn't want to be like massive, but it still doesn't want to be small. So I'm just kind of, I'm just kind of seeing like how it goes, but it's looking like I'm going to keep it because like I say, I do like the design, so you know how it goes. Oh Ryan, you shouldn't have got an Xbox, things have been fine like since that argument, as long as you still come on your PlayStation. I'm not, you know what I mean, like for Park Drive and like other things, because but yeah, so I do like that building, but we're just gonna have to see where it goes. What time are you online then, Stephen? How was your Fast and Furious movie? Wait, so what do you... So wait, what do you expect me to do in Park Drive? Like, seriously. I'm just saying, like... I'm just saying, like, what do you expect me to do with your Park Drive character? Like, I'm not being harsh or anything, Ryan, but that kind of pissed me off because now what do I do with your character? Like, it kind of ruins the whole series because you can't just suddenly not appear in an episode again. And then, like, I have to make these videos and edit them, and now you're just randomly not gonna be there because I can't film you. Because, like, if you'd have said, like, you were actually swapping it, then I could have filmed some more scenes for you, or I could have done something to get rid of your character. You know what I mean? Then that way it would have made the, like, series, like, so realistic, rather than just saying, like, rather than people saying, like, 5 episodes later or 10 episodes later, what happened to that Ryan dude? 1 minute he was doing all this going to prison and court dates, and then all of a sudden he just never got showed again. Like, I'm not being harsh, but what do you expect me to do? Because I got to edit these videos, like, you know what I mean? No, I'm not. But what? Like, you gotta, like, if you get what I mean, though. Like, I'm not trying to be harsh, but when I've got to edit these videos, and you know what I mean. Like, now I just can't, like, obviously do anything with your character because you've left. Like, if you'd have told me, then I could have, like, planned a way for your character to leave, and or like for whatever reason for something to happen to your character, because he was going to do so much. Like, he was in, like, you know what I mean. Like, I'm not trying to be harsh, but it just snookers me, like, when people don't tell me. Like, I knew you were thinking of getting an Xbox, but I didn't know you were getting it as soon as this. And now it's like I actually can't do anything with your character, like, unless somebody gets in the skin and I film, like, some dark scene or something, which is still gonna probably ruin the episode, but you know, me, I'm just on my own. No one's well, Jamie's online. I invited him. Pro Gaming's online. I invited him, but no one joined. Just say I got prison ages. Oh yeah, okay then. Cause that's get agent. Yeah, okay then. Cause that's really gonna work out, isn't it? Like, it doesn't matter. Leave it to me. It's alright. I'll just come up and think of something. Doesn't matter. You know. I think I might have an idea anyway, so don't worry. Don't worry. I think I might have an idea. You know what? It's lucky I have an idea what works, isn't it? And if this turns out to be some joke, Ryan, I swear, like... Oh my, you are an absolute dick. You are, oh, I tell you right now. Oh, I tell you right now, Steve, he had me going, I swear. He had me going. Oh my, Ryan, oh wow, you are an absolute noggin. Like, cause I literally have to plan these park drives and everything. Oh wow. Good job. I had a plan though. I was gonna say that you got beat. I was gonna say that you got into a fight in prison, and then I was gonna say that the police transferred you to another prison further away. But wow. So do you actually have an Xbox, or do you not have one at all, or did you just, or do you have an Xbox but haven't swapped your PlayStation? And anyway, when are you gonna be online, Steve? So you don't have an Xbox? Wow. Oh well. I mean, it was a pretty good joke. I mean, it shows how much I think of Park Drive, I guess. More than... I didn't say like, oh, what about you? What about your cities and stuff? Or what about, you know, all your friends online? It was, what about Park Drive? The first thing. What about PD? Alright, anyway. Okay. Right, I'm just going to go to Google. I got 2 new games today, guys. I actually got a PS2 game and a PC game from CEX. I got Thrillville, because I've not played that game in years. And I found this game from PC, which I haven't played for years. I forgot about it. It was like a train simulator game, but it's like an older one, but it used to be sick. I used to play it on my dad's old laptop, and I found it in CEX for £1, so I thought, you know what, why not? Speaking of the devil, yo, hello, mate, you had me going. You actually, I swear you had me going. Just have a look at some airport taxi rank, guys. Alright, yeah, that's not too bad. Well, I do like that. I mean, it's just part of it what I like. I like the sign. That is a pretty decent sign, actually. How big is this entrance? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Jesus Christ. Alright, so from this wall, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just do our usual, you know. Do our usual 7. You know what I mean, like. See how that goes. Take it from there. So guys, I didn't film the bikes today. Well, I made a mistake, but then it turns out it was a good job I made a mistake. I actually left my camera at home, so I got it out ready this morning. I thought, I took the SD card out of my laptop last night, and I thought, you know, we'll get it all ready so I can record. And then I got it out this morning, put it on my bed, ready to take it with me. And there was something what distracted me this morning, what made me like go downstairs with it. And then in the end, I guess in the end I just forgot about it, and it kind of like, and then you know, I forgot to take it. But then in the end, it turns out that I wasn't really. It turns out in the end that I wasn't actually missing anything really, because hardly any bikers actually showed up. Like hardly any bikers actually showed up. So it actually turns out that I didn't actually miss anything, because like I say, no bikers. There was not many bikers doing it this year for some reason. I think the weather maybe like put them off, and for some reason they decided that they didn't want to do it, or you know, I don't know the full reason. But you know, not many was doing it, so I left my camera at home by mistake. but it turns out really there was no point filming anyway, because only not many bikers set off, and you know, like I say, it sort of ruined it. So I forgot about the camera really, but don't worry, I'll take it to Blackpool with me next weekend. We'll do some little filming vlogs there for the channel, and then obviously the weekend after, we've got the next clubbing event, which I absolutely cannot wait for. And now, like I say, like last Friday was really sick, and then obviously this next one's just going to be this next one is just going to be even sicker, as you probably well know. And I'm going to have to take this out because I need to stop the white bit from going into the thing. So we need to put that there, that there. No, we don't. My mistake. We need to put that. We need to put that there. We need to put that there. And then we need to put that there instead. But we need to still make it so it's obviously 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we need to go ahead and put 7 there. So what we actually need to go ahead and do is we actually need to break this. So what we need is for this to run here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that, look. Then we need to put the 1 there, and then the 2 there. Do we? Oh wow, no, what's happened here? Alright, I think I know now. There we go, like that, look. So then that will go like that. That will then go in like that. We'll take that there, and then that should be the same like that. So that's nice. I like that. I want to do a different wall for the taxi rank. I don't want to do that brick wall. I've already decided that that's not something that I want to do. So we're going to have to take a row of stones so far. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get an iron bar, and we're going to go ahead and take this iron bar. Actually, if there's something else we can do with this iron bar, I'd like to do it. I'm not entirely sure though. We should be able to do what I have planned, but should and being able to is actually like two different things. So we actually need some string. We'll just take it to here for now. There we go. There we go. So I'll do all of these. Like that, look. Yeah, that looks sick for the taxi rank. And then what I actually want to do before I start the actual road itself, like this is going to come in a bit. So what I actually want to do is just take this out first, and then not too far, not too close to the entrance. But what I actually would like to do is get a slab. Take a slab. Yeah, that's nowhere near far enough yet. You see, we've got to get it right. It can't just be a little bit. Like, you see how that there now? Like, that there is good, but because it goes right up to the fence, like, that's my only bugbear. So I reckon if we actually take it to here and then take it to here, so we have the 3 wide gap, we take it to there, and then we just take it up. We just take it up by about 3, I think, maybe. Although saying that though, you do actually see a bit of black, and then we'll take the yellow up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we'll take that to there. And that doesn't look too bad. There is actually 2 bits of yellow, but I can only make it look like 1 because we can't put like a really thin line around it. I mean, I could do this. And let's see what this looks like. And then we'll take this up again. Let's just see how this reacts. 1, 2, 3. We'll take it up by 1 more. You see, yeah, that sign there, that's actually like about as big as the Enterprise place. And you know what, I don't like it. I think what I'm gonna do is just leave it with that 1 piece of yellow and then just take the stairs out, because I don't like how the sign is higher than the Enterprise place, and I think it looks better like that. But what I am going to go ahead and do is just go ahead and just put a little T on there for taxi, and then what I'll do just on here is just write to taxi rank. So the whole reason of this, the whole reason as to why I actually would like to do this is I'm going to, from about here, I'm actually going to open this up, okay, and then about find the middle point would be pretty nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to carry on this footpath, of course, just to here, because we can. Why not? Okay, and then what I'm going to go ahead and do is from about here, going to go ahead and get the normal white. So that's 1 middle, that's 2, and then what I'm going to do is have that. Now hopefully this will work. So we'll have a little zebra crossing, so when people get out of the taxi, like when it's been into the taxi rank, or whatever you want to call it, it then basically means that you can go ahead and walk across to get into the airport, or when you're coming out the airport, it just means you can walk across and go into this little taxi area. But it'll also benefit the bus and train area as well, meaning I'll probably do some other little bits and bobs. And Steve is online. So there we go. So yeah, it's going to benefit a lot of shiz. And then I'll put this in. Obviously we'll continue the road on. Hopefully the road markings match up to it as well. That's another thing. Like if it's going to be halfway through a road marking when the thing stops, that'd be... Alright, no, that works out good. I like that. We'll have a bit of that on our, on our plate. Yes. Just a sec. So that's good. And then, like I say, we'll just have a little taxi area in here for the taxis to make a drop off. I might even, do like another zebra crossing a little bit closer, maybe. I could have, I might do. I don't know yet. We'll have to see what goes down. But that's good. I like that. We've got our little taxi sign. So what we need to do is this little thing here, which is like 6 blocks wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my god, I guessed that right. We need to drag this all the way along, and then little taxi parking places will be great on here. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna put some like little pay phones in here, some little phones or like something where you can press a button and actually call a taxi itself. So you can actually go ahead and ring for a taxi, if that makes sense. Like say for example, if there isn't a taxi there, which probably most of the time there probably is going to be a taxi there because airports are busy, there's probably a taxi parked outside there 24/7, but just in case there wasn't, then the people could actually go ahead and press a button, and it would maybe like send a signal out to the taxi depot or something, and they would then know that there would be like somebody waiting for a taxi there, and then they would send an available taxi into the airport rank, into the airport taxi rank, and then obviously they would go ahead and be able to go ahead and then pick somebody up. And I think that would work out pretty sick. Which will, work out pretty neat and nice. I can't believe Ryan got me, because this is the thing, that this is what I'm talking about. What pees me off about Park Drive. It's not like it's when I like plan something for a character and then they tell me at the last minute that they're going to be leaving Park Drive. Like for example, if he'd have told me like, I don't know, like a week ago or something like that, or a couple of weeks ago that he's thinking about leaving, or like the same when Martin like first told me he was leaving Park Drive because he was going through a busy period with school. Like he didn't tell me till the last minute. Whereas like if he'd have told me like a week or so before, like obviously you get told at school that you're going to go into a busy period, then I could have said like, right, well we're like, is it likely you're going to come back to Park Drive? And then if he said yes, then I'd do something what would ensure his character to to stay in Park Drive, if that makes sense. And then if he maybe was never going to come back, then I might have done something like killed him off or something, and it's like the same with Ryan. Like if he was actually leaving, which he wasn't, he was joking obviously, but if they'd have told me rather than the last minute, then I could have planned something for it. Do you know what I mean? It was like yesterday. I got like a message yesterday from somebody asking me to go down to their like house party and do a bit of MCing, and I would have loved to have done that, because I am an MC. But I'd been on a night out the night before, and like he literally messaged me there and then and said he needed me now. he didn't message me like 2 days ago and say like, for example, like, I'm having a party this weekend, would you come and do the MCing or something like that, because then I could have gone ahead and got like music stored on my phone, what I'm going to MC to. I could have like taken a speaker or something in case he didn't have one. I could have prepared myself basically, and that's like the same as Park Drive. Like, I could prepare and plan something for his character to make the series go good and smoothly. If people tell me in advance that they're thinking about leaving, or for example they're coming into a busy period and they might not have time to come on and do Park Drive, then I'm obviously going to go ahead and be, I'll be like sound about it, because I have no bother with people leaving Park Drive. It's just like if I say like, oh yeah, you can do all these, like, you can be a part of this big episode, your character, and then it's like when they then tell me that they're leaving, and then I don't put them in the, and then I don't put them in the, in the big episode, and I have to make some form of quick little excuse as to why they've left, rather than making something happen where you actually see them leave. Because some people tell me and then don't come on to like leave, to make their character leave Park Drive. They just tell me that they're leaving and don't come back, and they expect me to sort something with the character. But what do you expect me to do? Like, I can't obviously film him leaving Park Drive. I can't obviously film him like dying because they've just left and they're not coming back, and it kind of annoys me a bit. So that's what I'm like on about. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, so that was in the right place. Oh yeah, that's sound. But yeah, that's all I'm on about. Like, it just annoys me a bit, because like if somebody leaves a real soap, for example, like, you always see them die, or you always like see them say they're leaving the village for whatever reason, or it's not doing me any good round here anymore. I need to get away for a bit. It's too much. And then obviously they film some like emotional leaving in a taxi, or they film like, they film some way of them like being murdered or dying. They don't just leave and never get filmed again. Like, for example, if I watched Emmerdale tomorrow, I wouldn't see Zach Dingle in Monday's Emmerdale and then just never see him again. They'd obviously like come up with a reason on the show, or film him somehow leaving, unless obviously he died in real. But even if they did that, then they'd make up some like storyline. It was the same with Edna. Edna died in real. It wasn't planned. She never like actually left the show, but they found a way to do it. But obviously, like, it's better when people know. It's better when people know, so they can like, they can prepare in advance and not just suddenly make it happen. So it just annoys me a bit, that's all. That's that's why I made that list, and that's why I wasn't trying to be funny. I just wanted to make a list so like people could let me know when they can't make episodes and if they're leaving Park Drive, because like I say, it just people don't understand when they're not making the series. But if they were making the series themselves, having to get an episode up and plan something with someone's character, it would kind of pee them off. Like, imagine if I joined somebody's series, say like a GTA series, and I was in there and I was doing quite well, and the person who was making the series said like, right, I want your character to start doing some bigger stuff now, and I'm gonna, will you be part of this extra long episode, and like, we'll make your character like, be in like this big car crash, and we'll make him get angry, and he's going to do all of this. And then imagine like if it came to like the day of the episode or the day before the episode, and I messaged him and said, look, I'm afraid I won't be doing your series anymore because I've come into a little bit of a busy patch, So I won't be doing your series anymore. You know, I find it hard to juggle this, that, and the other, and yeah, and then I'd just leave him to sort out the series and the character. Like, imagine how it would make him feel. So, you know, yo, Alfie Banks, what's going down in Chinatown? How is you doing? Alright, how many phones we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 little pay phones. I don't think that's too bad. Well, it's just something where you can call a taxi at the airport if there isn't one there, but I think that looks good. So we'll drag this white line down. We'll drag this white line down. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and drag this down. I maybe ought to have made the entrance a little bit bigger, really. Like, you know, for like taxis coming in and out. Saying that though, I might have like an in entrance, like this will be the way in. Like, we'll have an in arrow like that, but I'll do it in blocks. So maybe this can be like the in arrow for the taxis to go in, and then maybe like somewhere this way we'll then have an out arrow, depending on how big I obviously make the thing. I want to see Fast and Furious. Oh, I went to see Fast and Furious, and it was lit as F. To be honest with you, Alfie, I got bored of Fast and Furious a lot of movies ago. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. I don't physically have anything against Fast and Furious, but the first Fast and Furiouses used to be more about drag racing cars and pimped up cars, you know, like all the Evos and the Skylines, and you know, the proper like drag racing in the street kind of, you know, movie. Or, you know, all the like Toyota Supras and, you know, them like proper lit as F cars. And then I feel like when it got to like Fast and Furious 4 and 5, they turned it into more of an action movie, and it was more about like blowing up planes, and more about like doing like all these like stunt ramps, and you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel they've turned it more into an action movie where there's like fighting, and you know, it's like trying to stop the villains. Whereas like the first ones, it was more about the tuning the cars and the racing the cars. Like normally, where now I kind of feel it's gone far-fetched, and these cars can like do these jumps and have these like proper like lit NOS buttons or whatever. Whereas like the first ones, you obviously had a NOS button and that, but it was based more about the actual, you know, racing the cars as such. But that's just my personal opinion. Everyone's obviously entitled to an opinion, but I just find it went a little boring for me. I just find it got a little boring in the end. I think it was Fast and Furious 5 I went to see a couple of years back at school. Or it could have been Fast and Furious 6. And it just been turned into like a movie. I remember at the end it was just like this plane on fire, and then he ramps out in his car or something, and I was just like, that's just a bit too far-fetched. That's just my opinion. Okay, let's have a look inside the book. You know what? Just a sec, guys. So